Good morning, everyone. And it is a pretty good morning too. I've slept through my alarm again. It's about 5:35. Obviously when I got here last night it was pitch black, so I didn't really see much of the view or any of the view or anything. This is probably one of the best sunrise views I've had on the trail so far. So I'm just going to pan the camera around and show you. So right there you've got Mount Shasta, and what a view that is. So close to it. And then coming round, you've got Castle Crags themselves. These peaks in the foreground that are all dark. And then you've got these mountains in the background, all layered in mist. It's absolutely stunning. Look at that little Shasta in the background. That is the kind of campsite that I dream about finding, and to find it in the pitch black is even more impressive. It made all the effort yesterday of doing those big miles really worth it. One of the things I find really difficult, but I love doing time lapses on the camera. Haven't been doing enough of them recently. It does drain the battery quite a bit, but they're also, or I find them really difficult to time. So you've got to program the camera. You've got to pick where you're going to be pointing the camera, and then you've got to try and time it so that you capture the best bits, the best colours, the best part of the sunrise, the best part of the landscape. You've got to try and time it to perfection, and there's very few where I've actually done that. This morning's, I hope, was probably about as close as I'll ever get. I just wish I could program the camera better to pick up the colours, but I don't seem to be able to do that. But hopefully you got a good impression of what it was like to wake up looking at Shasta at sunrise. I know I'm going to be watching that back a few times, definitely. This has easily been one of my top 3 favourite camp spots on the PCT so far, and it possibly even might be number 1. But the views are just superb, and this slightly elevated position over the other camp spots below me, absolutely fantastic. So I've really enjoyed this morning, and it's worth setting off a little bit later. Hope you enjoyed it as well, guys. I just want to take a moment to mention Tarp Tent. I'm not affiliated with them, I'm not sponsored by them. Everything I've bought from them I've paid for myself. But that tent, the Dipole 2 Lithium, whilst it can be tricky to put up sometimes, or I find it tricky. I absolutely love the fact that you can open both doors, you can open the head and the foot vents or the windows, and you can sit in there fully enclosed, completely sheltered from rain, wind, bugs, and you can see literally everything around you. Last night I was just stargazing out of the window at the head end just to get a different view on things. They do make it in a one-person version as well, and they also make it in still poly versions, which are obviously a bit heavier, but they're quite a bit cheaper as well, and they're double wall, so they've got an inner tent and an outer tent. I haven't used them, I can't speak to them, but for this trail and for the conditions I'm encountering, that tent, I just love it. The only thing I don't like about it, I'm not using a ground sheet underneath it, I'm just putting the tent up with nothing underneath it, and sometimes when the ground's wet, water will come through the actual tent floor, and it's not because I haven't seam sealed it. I have seam sealed it. It just seems to let water soak through. So sometimes, it's not happened for a long time, but very occasionally, I'll wake up and the bottom of my pad will be wet or damp. I mean, there's an easy way around that. Use a ground sheet. My previous best, I'm not usually competitive, and especially not with myself, but my previous best hiking record is 110 miles in 3 days, and that's when I did the Cleveland Way back at home, and for 2 weeks after that I couldn't move my left leg. I got, I think it was tendinitis in my left knee. I couldn't bend my leg at the left knee. I never ever thought I would get anywhere near that again. However, with doing 42.1 yesterday and 37.5 the day before, it's a distinct possibility that I may be able to equal or beat that record today. So I'm just going to have a little friendly competition with myself. And I've made myself a bet. If I do beat that 110 in 3 days, when I get to Etna, I'm going to buy myself 2 pints of ice cream. Let's face it, I'm going to buy myself 2 pints of ice cream anyway, but it gives me a little bit of incentive thinking about it like that. One last thing before I switch off for a while as well. I am running low on juice, on electric juice. I've drained my large power bank and I've only got 65% of my small power bank left. So there's probably going to be less filming. I have still got, what day is it today? It's Tuesday today. So I've still got all of Tuesday, all of Wednesday, and however much of Thursday to go before I get to Etna. I did check last night and it was about 80.8 miles to Etna, or the road to get off to Etna. So if I can put in another couple of big days and leave myself a half day on Thursday, that will be way beyond my wildest dreams. And I mean that as well. I expected to be getting into Etna kind of late afternoon, early evening on Thursday. But that big day yesterday, has helped massively. So I'm going to shut up and get walking. Whilst I've got this beautiful view, say a huge thank you to George on Buy Me a Coffee. Thank you very much, George, muchly appreciated. And once again, Penmith on super thanks on YouTube. It's really, really kind of you to keep showing your support, and thank you so much. I really do mean it. Yeah, I knew Liz Kidder was in front of me. She's been, I keep seeing little bits now and then. And Carl, I think I've seen maybe a little bit of one of his videos. I know he's extremely fast, so I've got no chance of getting anywhere near him, but he seems to be doing extremely well. I know everyone's got their own style of videos and narrating and editing, and hopefully between however many YouTubers people are watching this year, you can get some really, really good sense of the trail and trail life. I know I don't generally cover a great deal of the trail life itself. If I'm being completely truthful, I don't feel comfortable filming other people. It sounds stupid because I'm putting videos out there, but I'm quite a private person and I'm quite introverted. And I genuinely don't like sticking cameras in people's faces unless I know them quite well. So I'm more about the views and my experience on the trail, and I'm just glad that people are interested in that and enjoying it. So thank you once again, you two guys, and thank you to everyone else as well for watching and keeping the comments coming. Hugely appreciated. It's about 9:45 a.m. There's been some breathtaking views this morning. I've had to literally stop myself from taking pictures of Shasta all the time, and there was a really stunning view with like layers of mountains and clouds in the distance that I just kept turning around behind me and staring at. It was beautiful. Big thanks and a big hello to Paul V on I think it was a super thanks on YouTube. Thank you, mate, and thank you for the tip. I'll try and remember that. I certainly don't want any more Superman moments. Definitely not. That was seriously painful, and I was just lucky I wasn't carrying the camera like this at the time. Otherwise, I think that would have been the end of the vlogs, because it was a bit of a bumpy landing. But yeah, thank you very much, fella. Really appreciated. The parcel of food that Amelia sent to me in Burnley had a load of LMNT electrolytes in it, which I was hugely grateful for, because they're pretty expensive for one to buy, and for two they were in kind of not a great deal of choice in Burnley, put it that way. So most of the flavours she sent was citrus salt, which is a nice flavour, and then there were some orange salt ones, which I think they're real nice as well. I've had a couple of them now. There was a few watermelon salts and one or two grapefruit salt, which I actually absolutely loved. And then I think there was one mango chili. And that's what I'm working my way through at the moment in my bottle. It's got, for my bland English palate, it's got a little bit of a kick to it. It tastes exactly like the tahini seasoning that you can buy, which is the stuff that I was eating with those mango rings, if you remember. There were some soft and chewy mango rings that were covered in this tahini, sort of like spicy stuff. But it's just like that. It's weird, when I'm eating the mango rings, it's exactly the same feeling that I get when I'm drinking this. I keep doing it, but I'm not sure if I like it. I still can't make my mind up. So, yeah, it's quite funny. That's the direction I've come from this morning. Climbed up here. I'm kind of on a little bit of a saddle at the moment. I found myself a nice shady rock for a break. It's 11 o'clock and I'm at mile 1533.1. It's a pretty nice view as well. We've got the ever-present Mount Shasta, and then down below her we've got Toad Lake. It's just nice to look down on a body of water. I believe just around the corner, about 0.1 mile, there is also Toad Spring, where I can get some water in a second when I need it. So, nice little break spot here. I'm going to enjoy 10 or 15 minutes of sitting down and peace and quiet before I carry on. Well, that was a lovely, lovely little break, was that? Thoroughly enjoyed it. Checked a few messages. Emailed home and just gave the folks an update on what's going on. Got a email reply back from the motel in Etna saying they've got no availability. So it looks like I'll be going to Eureka, don't know how you say it, which means I need, from what I've seen on the schedule for the bus leaves at 2:35 from Etna, and I need to get in there before then, obviously, to pick up my box at the post office. So I need to be in Etna for probably about 2 p.m. on Thursday. A little earlier would be nice, and it'd give me time to get something to eat and drink somewhere. And then there's a bus back the next morning. I think it'd get me into Etna like 9:30ish, somewhere around there. So it's not the end of the world. I know people are thinking, yeah, you don't have to do that. Oh, what we've got there? Well, that is. People are thinking, yeah, you don't have to do that. You just rough it in the campsite. I'm sorry, I like my hotels, and I like my privacy. I like being able to sit on the bed and watch TV and eat ice cream and work on my videos and do whatever. It's just a time that I can relax and completely switch off, basically. So it is pretty important to me that I can do that quite regularly. Slightly different view of Frog Lake. Oh, there's someone down there in a boat as well. That'd be beautiful today down there. Bit of fishing maybe. Oh, wow. What a beautiful area. This last section, entering Castle Crags, there was one tiny little bit that I didn't enjoy yesterday evening, and that was mainly because there was a load of bugs a load of like gnat things flying around, and one got in my mouth and then one got in my eye at pretty much the same time. Just wasn't pleasant. But this scenery is just stunning. I love it. Just look at the amount of stone on this mountainside. It's unbelievable. All the way up, as far as the eye can see up there, it's just stones and boulders. All the way across there as well. You've got the PCT path that's been flattened through the centre of it, and then it just continues down here below the trail. A couple of fallen tree trunks in the middle of it all. And then just down here, you've got Deadfall Lakes. Quite a cool name, actually, isn't it? Deadfall Lakes. Sounds a bit like a Bond movie. There's one there, and then I think there's possibly one at the other side as well. Just when you come round this corner. Looks like a very beautiful place. It's 1 p.m. now. If I was any hungrier, I'd probably be stopping here for lunch, but as it is, I think I'm going to carry on a few miles yet. It's a gorgeous spot there. Just looking down at the water, it looks really clear at the edges. I don't know, I might be persuaded to change my mind maybe. Looks like the trail goes right round the edge of it at the other side. So plans may change, you never know. I'll just keep the camera rolling and see if I can show you what's around this corner. Maybe something equally as attractive. Oh. Ooh. If you don't like being on the edge, oh, it's not too bad actually. I don't know if that's the larger one of the two or the smaller one. On the map, there is definitely one that's a lot bigger than the other one. I would imagine that's maybe the larger one. I've got to say, I thought I would have seen more people today. The campsite where I was last night was half empty when I left this morning. There was only like 2 or 3 tents left, and there was at least 5 or 6 there last night. So there's definitely some people in front of me, but I just thought I would have seen a few more people. I've seen one German guy who's doing the PCT, and who else have I seen? A couple that were day hiking, and then 2 other day hikers that were separate as well. So not many people. I almost forgot to mention last night I had the presence of mind to get my little tripod out and stand at the tent door, trying to remind me to take some star pictures, and I did. I got maybe 3 or 4, I think. I haven't looked at them properly yet or processed them. Got to do a little tweaking with them to get the colours right, but they were all over Shasta, and I have a feeling that one of them may look quite nice. Or I think it does anyway. I think it was the last one I took, the portrait orientation one. And there was a nice landscape one where I was zoomed in as well a little bit, which looked quite good. But yeah, it was nice, and I'm glad I did it actually. You kind of got to remember to wake up and get things ready, and then wait 12 minutes, try not to fall asleep while the exposure's going. There's some cool trees, aren't they? Really nice. Yeah. Very nice. There is a trailhead parking lot in just under 3 miles' time, and I've read the comments. There are some pit toilets there, so I will probably stop and take advantage of the facilities. If there's a trash can there as well, I shall take advantage of that. And if I'm stopping for that, I may as well combine it with a lunch stop as well, if there's some shade somewhere in the car park. So that should be in roughly an hour's time, hopefully. Well, it's getting on for 3 p.m. Very late lunch today. New view to look at. Some new mountains in the distance. More trees. More fluffy white clouds and beautiful blue sky. There was one other hiker sat in the parking lot when I got there. A girl I didn't recognise. She was one of the people at the same campsite as me last night. I said to her, "I'm really sorry if I disturbed you when I rolled in with the head torch on." She says, "Oh, don't worry about it. I was fast asleep." She says, "I went to sleep at about 8 o'clock or something like that. So, not too bad." Disappointed with the car parking lot. A lot of vehicles there. No people around. Pit toilet was nice and clean. Had TP in it, which is always a bonus. But not a single picnic table. I thought there might have been at least 1 or 2 picnic tables. It seems to be a pretty popular spot for anglers, from what I can gather. Obviously with those lakes that we passed being kind of close by, and I don't know what there is this way that I'm walking towards now, but anyway, you can't have everything, Paul. You got to use a nice toilet. Don't be greedy. Welcome back, everyone. For the last few hours I've just had my head down and been getting on with it. There's not been anything remarkable to show you or tell you about, so I just kept on marching. It's about 5:25 and I'm at mile 1549.5. There is a pretty splendiferous view in front of me. So the lake you see down in the dip there is Bull Lake, as in moo. It's not actually on the PCT, but you can take a little detour down to it if you so desire. And today I didn't desire. You can maybe make out Mount Shasta still in the background, hogging the limelight as always. I am somewhere around 30, nearly tripping over, the 30-mile mark for the day. I would very much like to get to 35. So I'm going to do my best to keep going for a bit. I have got a little bit of time to play with. The only thing is, it's been like it the entire day. There's not a great deal of tent sites marked on the app in this section. They're really few and far between, and the ones that are marked on there are actually pretty poor. They're either right slap bang next to the trail, or they're slopey. I know you can't have a perfect tent site every time, but there's really not been a great deal to choose from on this section. I think someone maybe did say there was a couple down at Bull Lake, but I've still got at least 5:25. I mean, I've still got at least 2 hours really of hiking left to go tonight, I would hope. Let's have a little look. We've got a trail junction up here. See if there's any sort of view. Oh, well. Yes, there is a sort of view. It's been a really odd day today. It started off with a bang, a really big bang, and then it kind of fizzled a little bit around lunchtime. This last couple of hours haven't been too exciting, but all day I've been waiting for the trail to do something, like go up or go down sharply, and it just hasn't. It's just been like gradual the entire day. I can't understand it. That ascent I've just come up now was about 500 feet, and that's probably the most challenging thing that I've done all day. I mean, it's just strange. So it's been nice. Don't get me wrong, I am not complaining that there's no steep uphills or downhills. It's just that when you're used to them and they don't come, it's kind of odd. So I think I've got a bit of down now, and then just flattish again. Anyway, a few more miles, find another water source, find a tent site, and maybe, if I'm lucky, have an earlier night than I did last night. That would be lovely. I guess it's time for a check-in. It is 7:30 p.m. I've just stopped and filled up with water because I was pretty much on my last dregs. And I will say that I know I complain about this Far Out app sometimes, but without that, and without the comments that people put on there telling you whether the water source has dried up or whether it's flowing and things like that, it would be so difficult, this trail. It would make things so much harder. I really don't know how people used to do this years ago. Full respect to them. But just as I was packing up and leaving the water source, I felt like I was being watched. I looked up, and just at the end of the trail there was this absolutely beautiful buck deer. Gorgeous set of antlers on him in velvet, and he just stood and looked at me. I couldn't get the video camera out, but I think I did get a semi-decent picture with the phone. So this is my note to myself when I'm editing, to try and put the picture in so you guys can see. Yeah, he was beautiful. I just stood watching him for a while. He didn't seem too bothered about me. Oh, look at that. You can just see the sun disappearing through the trees there. It's probably like 8:30, I reckon. It was right, the comment on Far Out, if you came into the thinned out trees, some really nice spots. This just reminds me of being at home. I'm on an old logging access road. This is exactly the sort of place I would camp at home in the forestry. The trail is just a little ways down that way. There's actually quite a few mosquitoes around, so I'm going to disappear off into the tent very quickly. And then I will probably do some food and work out how far I've come today. I think it's around the 36 mile mark, or I'm hoping it is. So that'll be nice. Oh, pretty tired. It's been just like an endurance fest today for me. I think I tend to perform a little better when there's some uphills involved, to be honest. When it's kind of just all easy and flattish, it seems like I struggle. But anyway, I've got here, I've made it, and I've got myself a nice pitch, and it is time to relax in the daylight for a change. Hello again. You'll have to forgive me, I'm a little bit paranoid because I've just heard something crashing through the trees. It's obviously either a deer or a bear. I hope. Hope it's not a dragon. I've done 37 miles today, which is quite pleasing, and I've just been checking the app, and I seem to have miscalculated somehow or somewhere, but the Etna Summit trailhead that's where I need to get off to get into Etna to get my parcel, is only 43.7 miles away now. And obviously I've got all day tomorrow and then however long it takes me on Thursday. So I don't have to go like a complete and utter idiot tomorrow. I could do a 30-mile day and it'd still mean that I've only got 13.7 the next day to get into Etna. So I think it's pretty much mission accomplished. Sorry, I thought I saw something on the roof of the tent. This kind of light makes you see things and think, oh, what's that? I am camped at mile 1557.5, so it is pretty much exactly 37 miles a day. That's pretty much it, guys. I swear I heard something then. I'm gonna go. Good night, folks.